number one in the rankings, first time ever for UCF men's soccer, first time for any UCF athletics program, huge accomplishment as a player. Just what does that mean to you?
It feels great. It feels great. When I decided to come to UCF, I came here to make history, and it's very good. It's great, amazing feeling, but we're not done yet. We want more. It's good to enjoy it, but of course we want more. We want to achieve it more. We want to win trophies, and then that's the goal.
What is it about the culture of this team that leads to a number one ranking?
Yeah, since the summer when everybody got here earlier, together training day by day, when things go tough, go wrong, we stick together, and I think that's the most beautiful thing about this team. Everybody's together, even though we have different cultures on the team, different countries. Everybody plays as one. It's one team, one family, and that's what makes us better every day.
What was the reaction amongst you guys when you found out you got the number one ranking? I mean, what was the, obviously some jubilation, but what was the kind of initial reaction from you?
Yeah, very happy, very happy. It was kind of expected as we knew Marshall had lost the second game in a row. But we always talk in the group chat and we said, guys, very good to enjoy it, but let's go for more. We have two more finals, two more games, and we want more. We want more. It's not because we got to the number one that now we can get rest a little bit. No, we have to get more because now that we're number one, we have a huge target in our back, and everybody wants to beat us. But we can't let that happen.
What is working so well for this team during this stretch right now?
As I said, we have a huge family, and then everybody is willing to work. When things go wrong, as I said, when people get the people on the bench or the starters are always giving 100%. If we start a game, we always talk to only leave when we are exhausted, and people on the bench have to be ready to make difference. And that's what is really working for us.
You talked about different cultures coming together. Obviously, you're Brazilian. How was that process at the start of coming together as a team?
I think at the beginning it's always a little bit difficult to get used to everybody, but as I said, when we are willing to work together, we want to be number one. It's not just something that happens. We want to be there. So we leave your ego aside and are ready to work with each other. And then that's the most beautiful thing about football. Everybody working together, different cultures, different places to go, but just one family.
Obviously, coming into the season, you have a good team, but was there a moment early on where you knew this could be a special team, a special season?
I think after the first game against Clemson away, that we are down 1-0 with 30 seconds, maybe. They scored 30 seconds in, and it's like the game was still 0-0. The team was playing well, nothing that didn't make us down, but put us down. So we kept going, and after the game, the feeling of beating Clemson 2-1 away, that just made us believe more that we could achieve great things this year.
You talked about that target on your back. How do you kind of prevent that from becoming a distraction? Being the number one team, everywhere you go, your opponents are going to come at you because they know you're the best in the country.
It's great. I love the feeling. I love to, at the beginning of the season, I had an interview and I said that we love to be the team to beat. So everybody wants to beat us now. We just have to keep working even harder and want more than the other teams because other teams want to beat us and you have to want even more to beat them.
How does Coach Calabrese and the staff push you to make you better?
Myself or the whole team?
You and the team.
Yeah, it's day by day, getting to work. Even though when we are tired, we have to give 100%, 110. And then, as I said, the team as a one, and Coach Calabrese does a great job of pushing us to our limits every day.
So, excuse me, what's your mindset heading into these next two games, and what can fans expect to see from this team?
Two more finals. Day by day, we're thinking 100% in Georgia State now, and then go to the game and win it. That's our mentality right now. We don't think ahead of ourselves, and then that's it.
You don't want to think ahead, but how far could this team go this season?
Far, very far.
Win it all?
Yeah, why not?
What's it like to have a goalkeeper like Juan be behind you? Obviously, you as a defender, having someone so consistent.
Yeah, Juanvi is first of all a great person. That's what matters the most. A great person off the field, and then when it comes to the field, his presence, his voice in the back makes us believe that we have someone in the back that we can trust.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give it to me.
Well, congratulations on #1 ranking. It seems like maybe you had an idea that it was a good possibility. Just what's the reaction when you find out? It's not only just the first #1 ranking in men's soccer history at UCF, but program history.
No, yeah, for sure. Everybody was happy to be #1. We knew at the end of the game that Marshall had lost, and we were very happy. You know, everybody was proud. But at the same time, everybody was just saying, you know, job's not done. As Anderson said, everybody just wanted to get back to Orlando and train the next day. You know, get everything ready for the next game.
What's this journey been like for you to now get to this point?
Yeah. No, it's of course ups and downs, you know, but we practice for this, you know, we practice for these moments. That's what we're here for, to make histories, as Anderson said earlier. And it's been amazing, you know, especially for the new guys, for them to experience something new. It's been good.
As a team, you have 10 goals in your last 3 games. What's really been the onset for the attacking prowess?
Well, the whole attack, I think, has been doing very well. You know, it's not just me there. It's Saku, it's Clarence, it's Bum. You know, it's the other guys coming up. I think having that balance, you know, not just one guy scoring, but the other guys scoring. I think that's what makes a great team.
How proud are you of the defense, though, that market improvement season over season?
For sure, for sure. The defense has been something very important, especially for us at the front, because we have trust on them. So whenever if we lose a ball in attacking, I think we're very comfortable with it. We know we have Zane, Anderson, Rafa, you know, Jonas, Arnie, Timo there in the back, and we know that they're there to secure the ball, and they're gonna do their job.
What would you say do you think is the biggest key to getting you guys the success you've had so far this season?
I think it has been the communication we have in the locker room. You know, I think in the field as well. You know, I think in the locker room everybody has been good. Everybody has been connected. Everybody's happy. You know, I think that's what makes a great team.
You talk about that, you just listen to Anderson talk about, you know, people from different backgrounds, different parts of the world. What's that like, you know, guys coming together and being, you know, as one, as a team?
For sure. At the beginning of the summer, you know, everybody was trying to get connected with everybody. You know, guys from Finland, guys from Germany, you know, a lot of different cultures, and try to understand, you know, what do they like, what they do not like to do. So we got a lot together. You know, we had barbecues, had a lot of fun stuff together during the summer, so we can get to the fall, to the season, and just enjoy and play good.
Can this team play better than it's been playing?
Of course, we want more. No, after every game, we always say, like, okay, like, we won, but we need to improve more. You know, we need to do more. We need to do better, and I think it can go really far.
How do you combat, as I've asked before, how do you combat the idea that everywhere you go, you're the #1 team and everyone's going to give you their best shot? How are you going to have to kind of get past that and focus on it?
Well, I think everybody got a good mindset, you know, a good focus. Everybody's locked in to get in the field and do their job. It doesn't matter if you're #1, if you're #2, you know, everybody's there. Everybody wants to win, and I think that's what a good team has, you know, a good mentality. The coaches, you know, they always tell us to keep our foot in the ground, you know, and we go from there.
This is a pretty battle-tested team. To get to #1, you've had to play some serious opponents, especially in this new league. What has that preparation been like to get you to this point?
Well, good teams, you know, that's what we want to play, you know, West Virginia, Marshall. We played against Clemson, FIU during the season, and I think that proved to everybody that UCF is a special team. You know, UCF is going to make history this season, so I think it has been really good.
Lucca, you've been really open about how this was a sacrifice for not only you coming over here to play, but for your family. What's your family's reaction to you being #1?
They're really happy. You know, they probably don't understand this much, you know, because they're there in Brazil, and sometimes they cannot watch the games. But just me, you know, saying, like, hey, we're #1 in the country, you know, and everything. They're really happy. You know, they all cry. You know, something that they do all the time. You know, especially me being away. But it was very, very fun for them. Very happy. You know, especially for me, for the whole team, and it's been good.
With the #1
Yes, of course. That's the mindset we talked about before the season started. You know, me and some of the guys, Anderson, AJ, Robbie, Zane. You know, we got together and we're just like, all right, we have a special group this season. You know, let's, especially for those guys, it's their last season, so we want to make something special for them and for UCF.
What will it take to win it all?
A lot, as we said, it's a lot of sacrifice that we have to make. You know, but we're ready for it. We're ready for every battle we faced, and yeah.
How important is this run for the younger guys?
I think gives them a lot of confidence. You know, some of the new guys, they're really happy with it because they came to UCF. UCF was not ranked, and now we're number one. I think for them, it gives them a lot of confidence too, especially for the next year. You know, coming. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of new guys coming into the team, and being a number one. You know, making history in their first season. I think it's something very special for them.
All right, Coach, congratulations on number 1 ranking.
Thank you.
What does that mean to you? You've been here a long time. What does that mean to you in this program?
Yeah, I think it means a lot. I think, you know, we've got a group of young men who've really committed to work incredibly hard. We've got a staff, assistant coaches, support staff that have worked incredibly hard, and I think it's something where you get a lot of motivation and a lot of validation from that, and you know, it feels good. It feels really good.
What would you say was the biggest key in helping this team earn success this far this season?
Well, I think honestly, it's their commitment level, and the players. They're an incredibly determined group, a very mature group, and the amount of work that they were willing to put in, and a lot of that started well before the coaches got involved. And I think there was a commitment, unlike any other year, for them to step up, the leadership group to step up, and to come into this fall season more prepared than they've ever been. And you know, they had to do it on their own because of the way that it works. In the summer, we don't get to coach them, we don't get to work with them, but they made the commitment to come back for Summer B and really put in the effort and the work. And we got off to a really good start in that first game against Clemson, and it was in large part because of what they had done, and there was some momentum in that.
Going into this season, how good did you think that this team was?
Yeah, I think we had a feeling that there was this different level of maturity to the group and different level of leadership. And so we felt like, okay, we potentially have something here, but you don't know, of course, how it all is going to come together. You know, how you're going to do when things don't go the way you plan. And, you know, what we found is that we have an incredibly solid group of human beings. I think it starts with their who they are as people. And I think that set the tone for us to be able to deal with the highs and the lows, and to take that in stride and to just commit to getting better every single day. I know it sounds a little cliche, but literally just no matter what was happening, we just committed every day to put in the work, and they committed, the players.
Was there a specific moment where you had a realization that this had a chance to be a really special team?
I don't know that you can point to one moment. You know, obviously early on we had a big win at Clemson, incredibly difficult place to play, great crowd, top team. You know, they're still in the top 10. I believe they're in the top 10 right now, and to be able to get the result, and it wasn't exactly the way we had hoped that it would go. You know, Clemson had more control of the game than we had hoped. We had to do some things that we typically don't do, but just the commitment of that group. So I think there were I think the best way to put it is there were early signs that we had a team that could get results against top teams and be able to compete at a very high level.
What does it say about your team is you've raised your level as the competition's obviously raised? You have West Virginia and Marshall both in your conference, both in the top 6.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's about mentality. I think the group's hungry, that they have been hungry, and, you know, so everybody's different, every team's different how they approach it, but when we had a big game like that, I think there was a lot of motivation and a lot of belief. There was a lot of belief in each other, and then you get into an opportunity to play a top team, and they've got something you want, right? They have the RPI points, they have 3 points if it's a conference team, they have the respect of the overall coaching group, right, when they're ranked, and our guys wanted to have that too, and they've worked really hard for it.
The Big 12 obviously doesn't sponsor men's soccer, so you
Yeah.
had to go looking for another league when UCF's leaving the American. You're talking about the Sun Belt. How much does that help you, just being in a league like that? I think maybe people who just kind of fall from, well, maybe don't understand, but the Sun Belt is a really good men's soccer league.
Yeah, I think the Sun Belt made a lot of sense. That's where the other P5s that don't have a home, that's where they play, right? You know, South Carolina and Kentucky in the SEC, and then we had West Virginia, Big 12, and so I think that made immediate sense that's where we wanted to be. And then Marshall winning a national championship a few years back, as well as a number of really good teams. So it was the right fit and the right move, and obviously when you have, anytime you have teams within your league that have high RPIs, there's opportunities there, right? And those opportunities give you the chance, and sometimes seasons go different to the one we're having, right? Where, you know, maybe you don't get a couple results early on, but now you've got high RPI teams on your schedule, and you can immediately change your season and put yourself in the postseason quickly. So you need those games in there. We went and we sought a couple non-conference games that were also gonna give us that opportunity for really good RPI points, and then you've got to go and you've got to get the results.
How has the diversity of your roster helped forge culture?
Yeah, I think it was pointed out we have players from 12 different countries. I just think they get along so well, and there's just such different personalities within the group. And I think it's more celebrated and embraced than anything else. Like, I think they really enjoy the different languages. I mean, to the point where players are literally trying to learn the languages of other players. If one speaks German, then, you know, this guy's trying to learn French and trying to speak in French to this guy. And so I think they really enjoy it. And I think that diversity just makes it, you know, more interesting to them. I think there's a diversity of playing styles that come in to the group as well, right? And so, you know, one of the big challenges that I think has really gone well in this year is that everyone's really embraced this way of playing, and they all bring their own individual qualities that they've developed in their own environments to our team, and we try to harness that.
Some of your players were just telling us that the way they're looking at this is that they're enjoying the moment, but they don't want to focus on too much because they want to keep looking ahead. Would you say you're the same way?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel like sometimes I try, you know, this is me being really transparent, I try not to enjoy the moment because I still want to stay hungry, but I actually think you can do both, and you can say, okay, that was great, and we should enjoy this for now because it is a special moment, but we have so much more to do. We have so much more of the season to play. We have so much more we want to accomplish. And I don't think those, even though maybe in years past I've thought a little differently, right? I think you can do both. And I'm glad that that's what they're doing. And I take like the Dabo Sweeney quote of, you know, you've got to, when you win, you've got to enjoy it because it's really hard. I mean, I think that's the other thing. Like, it is so hard to win games at this level where the competition is so close. I mean, there's not that much difference between you and any other team at a certain level, and when you win, you've done something that's really difficult, and you should enjoy it, and then you got to move to the next one, and there's a balance to that, but I think that's the right balance that our group should try to strike.
How can this team get better?
Well, we did video this morning, and you know, we pointed out a lot of the things that went really well in the South Carolina game because we want to see that continue and that we grow their understanding, okay, why did that go well? And then there were some moments in the South Carolina game where, we were 3-0 up and it went to 3-2, and there were some things that we could have done better. And I think the challenge in any season is, how consistent can you be with your concentration, with your execution. And I think that's probably the biggest thing for us is, okay, how can we learn from, and this has been the process all along, whether we win or whether we lose, how do you look at that video? How do you understand, okay, what are the decisions that we made? Were those the right decisions? What could we get better? In that game, I would say keeping focus and concentration. And maybe we lost a little bit of maintaining the right positioning of our back line. And there were moments where we could have been in different positions, read things a little sooner, especially on direct play, and been able to then avoid the end of that game, which was pretty chaotic.
What's the challenge of not having one beat now for the next match?
Well, I think, familiarity, right? Like the back line knows how to play with 1v. They have a lot of confidence with that group. And so now there's a younger player in there, in Luciano, and he's gonna probably have a little bit of nerves that he's got to overcome in that first game. But he's been with us now 2 years. He's an excellent goalkeeper. He's also got great feet like Wanvi, so we should be able to play the same way or in a really similar way to how we usually do, where we use the goalkeeper in the build-up. And I think they just, right away in that game, he's got to get a couple touches and feel some confidence and get into that game. And I think if he does that, he's going to settle in just fine. He's an excellent goalkeeper.
To be at this point where you are right now, who are maybe a player or two that has been really important for this run and for you personally just kind of building this program up?
Yeah, I would tell you, I don't even hesitate. I go to a couple guys that maybe don't get quite the same attention because they're not on the stat sheet in the same way. But you look at Robbie Sornellis, and anybody that's watched us play, it's the most amazing thing. You'll see him up on the left, like closing a player down, the ball switch, and it'll get forward, and somehow he's back in the middle or making the tackle on the other side. So just his work rate, his tenacity, how he's helped control the midfield. AJ Seals, just great to have AJ. He's a leader, he's a winner. He competes at a really high level. He's been so good, and those guys have controlled the middle really well. And then I go to Zane as well, and Zane's a guy. You need a little personality within the group in terms of like a vocal leader, a guy that brings passion and emotion. And I think those three guys, I think they've done a great job this year. And they're all fifth-year guys. They're all guys that have been in college soccer and understand it and are resilient enough to deal with the demands of it. And they've been great.
How much has your phone blown up since that #1 announcement?
I've gotten a few texts and a few phone calls, which is great. And it obviously feels good to get that praise from my friends especially and my family. So it's been good.
But now you're the hunted and not hunters.
I know. I thought we were number 2. I thought, okay, we're hunted. And I think we got comfortable with that. And now you're number 1. It feels a little bit different. So yeah, I think there's always now a target on our back. And I think the best thing to do is you just focus on, okay, what do we have to do in the game to really be successful? What are the things that each individual player has to do to be successful, and not let your mind wander too much you're not defending anything, right? And if you have that mindset that you're protecting something, you're protecting a ranking or whatever, if you construct that as a motivation, I don't think that's going to get you where you want to go. I think you need to go and get 3 points in your next game. And I think when you have that, and I don't think very much about the rankings because I'm always trying to think, okay, how can we try to get better? And I think that's how our staff's wired. I think that's how our players are wired. We'll enjoy it for a little bit and then okay, let's get back to work.
And the Sun Belt Championship, is it the top 2 seeds host? Is that right?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, Thanks. Do you know what you need to do to lock that up?
I don't, win on Friday,
Okay, I'll see will help.
because I think Marshall is 5-2, right?
Yeah,
And then,
yeah, they're 5-2.
and then I'm gonna say West Virginia's got 3 ties. I'm really bad with the math of this stuff, so I know if we win, we're gonna be okay. Just keep winning.
But just how important, you got one more regular, for sure you've got one more home game on Halloween night,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, I mean, what do you want to say to the fans and the student body, maybe kind of delay their trick-or-treating plans
Yeah,
a couple hours? How important is it to get a big crowd on that?
Oh, it would be so great. Wear your costume, right? Come out. I'll try to bring some candy for the kids. Yeah, I would just say, because I know my kids want to trick or treat. I got 3, and they want to dress up and they want to do their thing. So I think they're going to do it early, and then they're going to come to the game. So whether you can get there on time, whether you can get there at halftime, whatever, I think it's going to be a great game. JMU's an excellent team. They've been in the top 20 for a lot of the season. It's very likely that game's consequential for both teams. So I think it's going to be a good one, so hopefully we get a good crowd.
How would you describe the fan support overall throughout the year?
I think it's been great. I've been really excited to see the crowds. I think the crowds have gotten bigger and bigger each time. I do know we have a lot of support in the community. My 3 kids play in the local club. Paul, the associate head coach, his kids play in the local club. So, we're really connected with the local clubs. There's actually a lot of UCF alums that are coaches within the local clubs, which is nice. So we get a lot of traction from those guys, a lot of support. And then the student body has come out really well too. So hopefully that continues. We keep winning and providing some excitement, and hopefully they keep coming.
Is there any parallel? I mean, I think you arrived at UCF around the time when Lagos City was joining MLS. Is there some parallel though within the community, just more awareness of soccer, and does that kind of bled over and help maybe fans supporting your program as well?
I think so. I mean, Terry talks about it, our administration talks about it, that this is a city that really embraces soccer. And I think and there's so many kids playing locally, just all around, that if all of them came, I was talking with the director of FKK, and he was literally saying, if we actually brought everybody, they couldn't fit in the stadium at this point. Like, they have so many players, and that's just up the road. So I do think the support we've gotten, it is because there's so many people that love soccer in this area, and that we're connected to a lot of those local communities that support soccer.
You said you're not focused on, holding on to a ranking, but are you maybe thinking on winning it all this year now?
I think when we sit down at the beginning of the year, we put 3 goals out. And it's okay, we want to win the regular season. That's a goal. We want to then win the playoffs, and we want to win a national championship. And those are always the 3 goals. And we say it at the beginning of the year, and then we don't really talk about it again. And then we just literally move on to, okay, then all right, this is where we're at, and this is how we get better. But I think there's that, I think if you focus on that, it's just too big of an idea to think about it. It doesn't get you any closer. But yeah, that's one of our goals. That's always the first goal. How do we win our league?
Will you be dressed up for your game on Monday?
I thought about it. I was literally looking online, and I was looking for like Jedi cloaks and things like that. And my kids, actually, we were talking about our costumes, but I think I will be dressed up as a soccer coach.
You guys good?
Yeah.
All right, guys.